but there's a point at which it's above the average person's pay grade.
Yes.
There's a point at which they say, this is dysfunctional to the point that it needs intervention, it needs help. How do you define that to people? How do you tell somebody, this has crossed the threshold, you need to get professional help for this?
I tell them that I teach them how to look at their life in general in some key areas. There's like 5 areas I look at, and I call it SWEEP, so because it looks like, people can remember that. They look at their sleep, they look at their, their eating, the way they deal with their emotions, what they do for, hobbies and play and all that kind of stuff. And those 5 areas.
Sleep, work, eating, emotion, and play.
Right. Those 5 areas, if anything's coming up in those areas, we got to address it on some level. If 3 of those 5 areas are not functioning, that's when you need some help, because you're not working in sync with yourself even.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a general way to look at it, because people won't come for help if they don't need to. They're afraid, the stigma, all of that stuff. And family members need to push sometimes.
And the problem is, we don't have a very good definition of normal.
Right.
You go to the library and you go over to the abnormal psychology section, stacks and stacks, book and book and book and book on abnormal behavior, abnormal psychology, abnormal interactions, relationships, all of that. You go to the normal section, there's one little pamphlet down there.
Exactly.
It's kind of yellowed and it's laying by itself. We don't really have an idea of what's normal because it's so idiosyncratic. But the way I look at this is, something has gotten to the point of being abnormal or changeworthy if it's interfering with the healthy pursuit of your goals.
Right.
Like, let's say, for example, you have a temper, you have a tendency to get into rage, and that's interfering with your job. It's interfering with a peaceful, tranquil home. It's interfering with your relationship with friends. Okay, now that becomes changeworthy.
Right.
If you just occasionally get upset, you get irritated, okay, everybody does.
Right.
Does that interfere with your job? Are they not promoting you because you get into rages? Now, that's changeworthy. You need to see somebody about this.
You got to look at that.
If it's causing your marriage to go on the rocks, now it's interfering with your goal.
Right.
But if you're just irritable occasionally, okay, then work on your irritability.
Right.
But I say, if it's interfering with pursuit of your goals, now you need to do something about it.
I agree.
I think that's when people need to say, okay, I need help, whether it's for me or somebody else.
100%.
Using LA County as an example, where can people go if they don't have money? They can't afford a therapist. Does the county offer resources?
Yes, many, many resources, and very good resources at that. So we have 1 million hotlines to call, and there's hotlines to call even if you're looking for a place to get to live and to apply for housing. There's a number, it's a 211 actually, and they'll direct you to anything you're looking for, whether it's food stamps or it's a housing or it's a school for your kid or mental health treatment or medical treatment. They'll send you to these places, and then you get on assistance or whatever you need, but you can begin the help immediately. So there are a lot of resources in this county.